Next is a book that I'm going to be reading. Hey everyone, hi. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about some of the books I have bought recently, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to tell you about the context of these purchases and how it's fitting into my year-long project or my ongoing project. And we will get into all of that in the meat of the video. So if you're new here, then hello, welcome. As I mentioned, my name is Shelly and I really love books and reading. And I am quite the adventurous reader. I read manga and historical fiction and fantasy and history books. I read a bunch of stuff and I tend to share it all with you here on the internet. So if you like that, I would encourage you to subscribe, stick around, and without any further rambling on, let's go ahead and get into the meat of this video. My year-long project is called Project Shelf Aware, and I'm really trying to unhaul books that aren't giving me joy, to slow down my purchases. And when I created this project, it was open. I wanted space to move around and to be able to define the perimeters as the year goes on and as I continue to chew it over and ponder it. But all I knew is that I didn't want to continue to have my library grow, my unread library grow at the rate that it has been growing, and to kind of pare down my unread books. I knew I had that kind of in mind. So I have been tracking all of the books that I have read from my own shelves. And this year I have read I think I've read 6. And I'm on my 7th book that I've read physically from my own shelves, which I'm so excited about. And interestingly, I have 5 books here that I've purchased. And I think that that's a really good checks and balances for me, that I'm at least reading as many books off of my shelves as I am purchasing for my shelves, if that makes any sense. So I'm really excited about the progress of my project, and I'm actually super proud of having a small haul. I'm glad that I'm not hauling like a stack of books that I could barely carry. I feel really good about it. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just know my own self, and I think I get myself into hot water when I'm thrifting books, and I'm just sort of I'm doing this sort of purchase in an unhinged way, in an unabashed way, without any checks, without any parameters. Like I'm like, oh, that title is recognizable. I have a faint remembering of wanting to read it, so why don't I buy it? And then it's like the likelihood that it will get read is about 50-50, you know? So I'm really trying to halt that behavior. And so I'm glad it's a 5-book haul, very basically. Okay, so the first book is definitely because of Jennifer Brooks, who has recently passed on. And between her and my friend Anita, and I was reading a book by Helen Rappaport called After the Romanovs, and it touches on the Russian Revolution, and it's a few chapters in a longer narrative about the relationship between France and specifically Paris and Russian exiles. So super great book, super interesting book. But as I was reading that, I was like, I want to know more about the Russian Revolution. And my friend Anita recommended this book, and also Jennifer had read it and really liked it. And so I was like, I'm gonna get it. I'm going to get it because I will read it and I will find it tremendously enjoyable. And it's Nicholas in Alexandria by Robert K. Massey. I've read Massey's Catherine the Great, which was phenomenal, really good, like life-changing book. And so I'm like, I need to read another one of his books. So I have this and I'm excited for this. Next up is a book by an author that I love, kind of like Massey, and because I love Massey's writing, but I also love this author's writing, and I already have plans to read it with the Up to No Good book club, and it is The Mill on the Floss by George Eliot. Now this is her most autobiographical novel, the most that draws from her own life, and from what I know, the teensy bit that I know about George Eliot is that she had a really interesting life, and so it's like I'm excited to read it for its own sake as a novel, but I also know that I know that George Eliot does not lack in biographies, and I would be interested in reading more about her actual personal life. But maybe this is a good gateway into that. We have a very eclectic haul. My goodness. Yeah, this is truly like the meat of what I read. So we had a history book, a classic. Now we're going to a new release. The new release is one that Steve Donahue, who is a book critic, a written book reviewer. He writes for Christian Science Monitor and Kirkus and a bunch of other places. He actually gets paid money for his reviews, which is just so cool. Written reviews, rather. And he always comes out with these 10 best books of the year, and he reads over 1,000 books. And so when he says something is good, I perk up. I think I do. And I have a tradition that I buy at least one of his recommended books from one of those lists. The book that I feel like I'll like the most, the one that I feel like I'll get along with the most. And this year I picked out Terrace Story by Hilary Leecher. I love this it's a slim little book, and I just love this cover. It is gorgeous. So why did I pick this? He said that something that starts off rather small and unassuming, like a single apartment building and maybe even a terrace in that apartment building, actually it starts there and the story grows from there. I liked that. I liked that idea. But he also said this was strangely emotionally affecting. Like, it'll stick with you emotionally. And I was like, I actually would like that too. So I don't know much about it, but I want to read it and I'm excited. This was on his best of fiction. It wasn't the best of fiction, like his number one book, but it made the best of fiction, and that was good enough for me, and I'm excited to have it. The next book is is a book that comes from a booktuber, is a recommendation from a booktuber that I've been watching more recently, partly because her and I think, share somewhat of an audience with our One Piece reviews, the manga reviews that we do, that she talks about manga and I talk about manga. And of course, I've been kind of like around her channel and seeing what she's doing, and I can't help to have found out that the book that I purchased is like one of her favorite books of all time, if not her favorite series of all time, like that whole thing. So I was like, I want that. That looks fun. And it is called The Lies of Locke Lamora, and this is by Scott Lynch. This is one of a trilogy and maybe a bigger series. I don't know how to talk about it. And it's supposed to be good. It's supposed to be like fantasy. You know, I am not ever sold when something is like, for fans of George R.R. Martin, like George R.R. Martin is blurbed, and that to me is like a, like, no. I read some George R.R. Martin, and, you know, it was fine. But, you know, it's okay. I can set that aside because, did I even say who the booktuber is? Merphy Napier. She likes this. She likes this book. I'm going to hopefully have flashed her name across the screen so I didn't go that long without saying who she is. So, anyways, she really loves this book, the series, and I was like, I think I will love it too. So here it is. And finally, I have a book that, oh my goodness, it's like this thing on BookTube that is so addicting. And it's like when one of my friends or when a booktuber that I know and trust, when all of a sudden they light up when they're talking about a book, like you can see the joy, the excitement, the passion, like you can actually see life pouring out of them because they're talking about a book they loved. And that happened with my friend Fraser. He was like, we were like asking, best books, blah, 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 blah. Like when we were talking, like not on the internet, we were just talking in general. And he talked about R. Scott Baker's The Darkness That Comes Before. And this is called The Prince of Nothing. Like, of course I knew that. The Prince of Nothing series. And it's a chunkster. We have plans to read it like pretty soon, like in the next week or so to start it. And I'm excited. Like, this is a fantastic paperback. So it's not quite the little small, it's not quite a small paperback. It's larger than that. It's oversized. It has this matte black cover, and the cover is rather thick. And I'm like, I love this kind of paperback. I just love it. Okay, I love the size. It's the perfect size, y'all. I'm not surprised because it's, I think it's, well, I really love the penguin paper, why am I going on a tangent? Penguin paperback, penguin paperbacks are one of my favorite books to read. I just really love their size and just how comfortable they are. And this is just ever so slightly wider than a penguin paperback, which I'm like, I love it. I love it so much. So yeah, I'm actually, now that we're talking about it, oh yeah, it's pretty much the same. It's just slightly shorter than the Nicholas and Alexandria book. So it's not quite like oversized, but it's not oversized. It's just a nice, hefty, comfortable weight for the hand. Okay, I'm going to stop. Those are the 5 books that I bought. I'm feeling so good about keeping my purchases in balance. And hopefully next video, or maybe it will have gone up before this. I don't know. Who knows? You would think I would have a schedule by now. I have been doing this for a few years, but no, I don't have schedule. Who is she? I don't know. But I'm going to be showing you my unhaul soon. So I'm excited because I feel like I'm really I'm letting go of things that I acquired sort of in that headspace where I was just consuming and gathering and like hoarding, this hoarding mentality. And now I'm like, no. I'm going to put you back into the world. I am going to keep what I feel like are choices for me. I'm going to sort of take back my autonomy with my own library and feel like a lot of ownership. And when I look at the books, I'm like, this is a joyful TBR. These are joyful shelves and they really reflect what I want to read. So, and again, it's a balance. I'm not like just trying to get rid of hundreds of books that I purchased. That, there would be something I wouldn't like about that, but I feel like I'm just doing like the slow process of weeding and getting rid of, and that feels really, really good. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I will hopefully see all of you in my next one. Bye.